Hi, I'm currently filming in a library study room that I only have for another 30 minutes, so if I'm talking fast, I apologize. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Renika Shedora. I'm an artist. This is not my usual setup, but today I'm spreading my wings, so to speak, and trying to film in places other than my room. So today, I'm going to talk about things artists shouldn't feel guilty about, so we can spread our wings and fly. One thing artists shouldn't feel guilty about is posting an art piece more than once. I know it feels like you're spamming people, but people are following you to see your art. Sometimes they forget about a piece. There's also a chance new people can see your artwork, and that painting is what can capture them in. You didn't create that piece just to show it once and have it sit in your room. Show it off as much as you want. It's your baby, so to speak. It's your beautiful creation. You put so much time, so much energy in that hard work, and people should see your hard work more often. As much as you stare at it every day in your room, unless you put it in your closet like I do, allow people to see your artwork. If you think about it, people will post pictures or videos of the sun setting or the moon at night. We've all seen those pictures, yet we still do it because each time we see a sunset, it's still just as beautiful as the first time we saw it. So I think that should also give you encouragement of why you should keep posting your art. If people can post brain rot and AI slop every day, you can post your art more than once. Speaking of posting, do not feel guilty for not posting every day. Creating takes a lot of time and energy, and that's just talking about the art. But creating posts, creating the captions, hashtags, it may not seem like a lot, but interacting on social media as a whole can be very draining. It's important to give yourself breaks. Every time I post, it's like every 10 seconds I have to check the post. But if I'm not posting that day, I don't feel as obligated to open the app. So that's why I'm an advocate for you don't have to post every day. Content creation is a job. Do you work every day? Absolutely not. Do you always put your best foot forward every day? Absolutely not. And sometimes you don't want to put your best foot forward. So yeah, don't feel obligated to post. Now, on the other hand, number 3, I should have said number 2 earlier, but I was just babbling. Anyway, number 3, don't feel guilty if you do post every day. If you just want to post every day, schedule your post, that is your prerogative. Don't let nobody tell you different. Again, there are some people who post every 10 minutes. If you want to do that, that's your prerogative. Yeah, sometimes I compare myself to other artists. I'll see that they only post 2 or 3 times a week, but I've posted like 5 times. And I'm like, oh, am I doing too much? But it's like, no. It's my business. It's my business. It's my art. I can do what I want with it. If I want to post it every day, I can. If I don't, it's my prerogative. Speaking of doing something every day, do not, number 4, sorry, I am not listening correctly. Do not feel guilty if you don't create every day. Life is hard. We all know this. Life can be very, very hard. And we all have responsibilities. Unfortunately, not everyone has the time to draw every second of every day. Do not feel guilty. Do not feel bad if you have to use your energy for other things. And with that, remember, you can create art in different ways. So if instead of painting on a canvas, you just screw it on your sketchbook, hey, that counts. If you just did a little doodle in your mouth notes, hey, that counts. That's art right there. If you just made a little drawing on your phone, that counts. Think of all the responsibilities you have. Think of all the things you'd like to do, things you don't want to do. Do you do them every second of every day? Absolutely not, because your time and energy has to be given to other things. Yes, you are an artist, and yes, art is a part of who you are, but it is not all that you are. You're a human being. You have to use your energy to rest instead of create art. Don't feel guilty. You won't be able to create the art you want if you're drained in all aspects of life. I should say in all aspects of like mentally, physically, emotionally. Anyways, number 5, do not feel guilty for telling people you are an artist. People will not know about your art unless you tell them, unless you promote yourself, unless you put yourself out there. Now, and I don't just mean like telling people you are an artist on social media, but don't feel guilty if you mention you are an artist to a barista, to a coworker, to a family member, especially if they ask what you do in your spare time. Do not feel guilty. Now, if you're trying to sell something to them every second of every day, yeah, that's tiring. But saying that you are an artist every once in a while, you're not trying to be spammy. You're just trying to share a part of your life other people may know. Who knows? Maybe that could lead to a client, or maybe that could lead to like an art buddy who wants to create art with you. You never know what that could lead to. Just telling people or just showing who you are to other people. So yeah. Number 6, do not feel guilty if you don't sell your art. If you just create art for fun and you don't want to sell it, that's your prerogative. I know other people, I know especially in this climate, there's a lot of like having 10 side hustles and a small business and a main business. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. If you're happy with your main job and then having art on the side, that is completely fine. If you just want to focus on the art and not get into the mechanics that can come with having a business, that's completely understandable. Having a business is a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy, mentally, physically, emotionally. You do not have to sell everything that you have. Do not let anyone think that they have the choice to decide whether or not what you do with your art. I hope I'm making some type of sense. Number 7, selling art for a price higher than someone else's. I paint really big canvases, 16 by 20 and up. And on my Etsy shop, I priced one of those canvases for $50 because of like the quality I considered it at, the much time it took it. But then I'll see other artists selling their art for cheaper, and I feel guilty. I'm like, well, their art is clearly better than mine. I should price it lower than there. I shouldn't base whether or not my art is worth the value I put it at based on how someone else values a thing. Everyone's lives is different. Somebody may think that your payment is worth the $50 or more. Somebody may not, but that's okay. But you can't go your whole life basing your decisions solely on everybody else. But yes, you can take everyone's input. Yes, you can take in other information. However, it is ultimately your decision of what you price your items. Okay, the final thing you shouldn't feel guilty over. I'm so sorry, this is going so fast. If you create artwork different from your usual stuff. Now, I like to create artwork that is celestial, dreamy, cozy, very retro style, nostalgic, if you will. But sometimes I don't want to create that art. I don't want to create art that is an escape for some people. Sometimes I want to create art that shows my mental state at the moment. I want to create art that may be controversial, political even. I insert some art here that is different from my usual stuff. Oh, I guess I should post my usual stuff. Here's my usual stuff. Ta-da! Then here's stuff that's different. Okay, back to it. And sometimes I get in my head of like, well, not everyone is gonna like that. But I didn't create art I didn't get into this practice of creating art to make other people feel comfortable necessarily, all the time at least. Like, yes, I want to make people smile and happy, but at the end of the day, I want to make sure I feel good about my artwork. I want to make sure I feel good about what I'm putting out into the world. And I also want to make sure that I'm using my platform to speak about reality. Like, yes, I want to reflect the dream worlds in my head, but sometimes I have to get out of my dream world and come back down to earth. People have the right to change. People do change. If you want to create something that's different from your art style, if you want to explore your art style, again, like I've been saying this whole video, it is your decision. It's not fair that other people get to change, but you don't. It is not, how do I want to say? I don't think it's correct to say that you should only be creating what people like. Maybe the thing that you create that is different from your stuff may bring you more followers, may bring you a different audience that likes that stuff and your usual stuff. But either way, do not feel guilty for creating art that is different. Art takes time, practice, and work. Art is also supposed to be fun. So yeah, have fun creating art that is different from your usual stuff. I hope I have some usable content from this video. I really, really hope so. I hope you found something encouraging. I hope you found a reminder in here of what you shouldn't feel guilty about as an artist. Let me know things that you have to learn to stop feeling guilty for that are art related. Let me say that. But yeah, as always, have a good morning, have a good day, have a good night. Bye.